The acts of violence by separatists at the Hindu Sabha temple in Ontario, Canada, has yet again revealed the severity of extremism in the country. India has called Canada to ensure that all places of worship are protected from such attacks.
India has strongly condemned the recent violence at the Hindu Sabha temple in Brampton, Ontario, which was carried out by extremists and separatists on Sunday. In response, the Indian government is urging Canada to take necessary measures to protect all places of worship and to ensure that those responsible for the violence are prosecuted. The Ministry of External Affairs stated that the intimidation and harassment faced by Indian consular officers will not hinder their outreach efforts. They remain committed to providing services to both Indian and Canadian citizens. The clashes occurred during a consular camp organized in collaboration with Hindu Sabha Mandir, highlighting the need for enhanced security and protection for places of worship. The Indian High Commission in Canada also highlighted similar disruptions during the consular camps held in Vancouver and Surrey on Saturday and Sunday. The incident has sparked widespread outrage both in Canada and abroad. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau condemned the attack, reaffirming the importance of religious freedom. While Canadian opposition leader Pierre Poilievre called the attack as unacceptable, Toronto MP Kevin Vogue also condemned the attack and asserted that Canada has become a safe harbor for radicals and asserted that the country's leaders have failed to protect Hindus. Canadian Member of Parliament Chandra Arya also condemned the attack on the temple, saying that a red line has been crossed by extremists. Local police has arrested 3 in connection with the incident and are being criminally charged for their actions. The recent attack adds to a string of similar incidents documented in recent years, underscoring a distressing trend of religious intolerance. Bureau Report, DD India.
So, Canadian Member of Parliament Chandra Arya also said that a red line has been crossed with such violent, brazen attacks on Hindus in Canada, and this highlights the rise of brazen violent extremism in the country. And for more on this, we are now joined by Meghna Dev. Meghna, why is that the Canadian authorities are repeatedly failing to ensure proper security arrangements and thus allowing violence by anti-India elements, as has now happened at Brampton?
Yes, absolutely. And very importantly, India has said that the strict action must be taken against those anti-India elements who are behind this violent incidents at Brampton and at outside the Hindu Sabha temple in Brampton. What we also definitely see is that this was a consular camp which was organized, and number of people from the Indian diaspora were there. And it's not only that, but also it's the season of Diwali. And, the festival of Diwali, a number of people also go and visit the temple at this point of time. What we definitely see is that this time around, while there was a lack of proper security at the place, Canada has not been able to take strict action against such people who probably, if we see time and again, create violence or are anti-India elements. What we definitely also see is that earlier our diplomats have been getting death threats, they have been getting intimidation. Time and again, such instances have not been addressed properly by Canadian authorities. And this time around also, we do not see that strict action is being taken by the Canadian authorities in this matter.
And seeing its track record, do you see any indication of Canada making any serious attempt to curb such brazen anti-India violence in the future? And what does all of this do to India-Canada ties?
Well, India has time and again said that the behavioral pattern of Canada is of serious concern to bilateral ties. Now that sums it up all, because when we actually see that Canada has time and again probably, it has also been accepted that higher officials from Canada have put out false allegations, or we can say false insinuations, and given it out to international media for maligning India's image, for painting India's image in a bad, probably we can say in a bad light, and that all for just for political gains. Now that's not only all, but we have been seeing time and again, on the pretext of freedom of speech, freedom of protest, such incidents are being given, are being let go of by the Canadian authorities. So that definitely speaks volumes of how lightly these incidents are taken in Canada, and what kind of threat do Indian nationals have to under which and the threat that under which Indian nationals are, and obviously the people from the consulate of India in Canada are.
Okay, thank you very much, Meghna Dev, for joining on the show.